boss. Couldn't catch me, I've been moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Yeah, I know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star.
Yep. What do you say? Yeah. Nobody can see you. It's okay. You can get dressed now. Yeah. Well, they can definitely hear me, but the music's on, so I don't know if they can hear you. Post on the tweeter here. Huh? No, nothing in particular. I got a couple little things here and there, and then we got the big thing, obviously. All right, Tunes. Time for you to turn off Tunes. It's time to show our ugly mugs. Dude, I went with the full blue tonight, and I feel like my camera looks a little funny. Like it's almost not as, I don't know, defined. I mean, I still look sexy AF, but... Alright, I've got to get your audio, because I don't think I have your audio coming through right now. Let's figure out why that is, monsieur. That's on my end, obviously. Let's see. Output. Go ahead and try it now.
Check.
There we go. I knew that's what it was. Just making sure.
We are live.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Wanted to give a big shout out. I know C Killa hit me up and said he drove up to I think it was Mississippi, or either driving up or driving back, but he listened to every one of our podcast episodes. Oh, he called me, goes, I just want to thank you, man. He goes, I'm telling you, I really like your podcast. I was like, all right. We got the legend in the house too.
Okay.
All right, so I wanted to open up with something here, and this may be too early. It's only been 5 minutes, but we might be getting a little deep. But I want to open up something, and we're going to come back to it, because I want to let you guys figure it out, see if you can figure out who I'm talking about, okay?
Okay, I like this.
One player in MLB history, only one of them, okay, has 3,000 hits, 100 triples. Now, sorry. Only player in MLB history to have at least 3,000 hits, 100 triples, 600 doubles, 200 home runs, 1,000 RBIs, 1,500 runs, 1,000 walks, 500 stolen bases, and hit at least 300 for their career.
Jesus.
And I will tell you, he is still alive.
Okay.
Who is
All
it? Okay. I don't know. This. I mean, that's a stat sheet right there.
That is jam-packed
Yeah.
in there. It is,
And I will tell you, he's still alive. He played for 21 years, okay? And he is on the all-time Major League Baseball team. He's put on the all-time team, okay?
Okay.
So the legend might know this one. I don't know, but 21 years is a long time.
Okay.
But you want to come back to it, or are you going to not figure this out? Because I don't think you're going to figure this out.
No. We are going to come back to that.
Okay.
We're going to actually let you run that back here just a little bit.
Let me get some more people in
get
here.
on here and we'll get rolling with it. But yeah. That's a jam-packed line.
That's some
Holy
pretty
cow,
impressive
that's a lot.
numbers. And the big thing was all those numbers, plus he hit it over 300 for his career.
Okay.
All right, the legend's putting in his guess: Tony Gwynn or Cal Ripken. And I will tell you now, it's neither one of those guys.
Okay.
The key is he's still alive, so it can't be Tony Gwynn because he died, I'm pretty sure, of cancer.
Tony Gwynn, he did.
And
He did, sadly, he did.
on the all-time MLB team. And I'll even give you his nickname. He had two nicknames. One of them was Molly. The other one was the Igniter.
Yeah,
I have given you all the tools you need. Dollar bill in the house.
All right.
So I've got one. I guess we can start on if you want. It's not really an NFL thing. It happened in the NFL, but this is kind of a big. We can get deep into this. I'll put it that way, okay? So I don't know if you heard about Jawan James, guy from Denver Broncos that got cut, tore his ACL in the offseason working out. Okay, trying to stay in football condition. Tears his Achilles. I think it was his Achilles. Gets cut by the Broncos. Second Bronco, actually, I think that this happened to. I think Deshaun, one of the Deshaun's got cut as well. Similar thing where he got hurt in the offseason, working out, trying to stay in football condition, okay, and he ends up getting cut, loses out on millions of dollars.
Right.
Do you think that is an issue? Do you think that's something they should have covered pre-COVID with the collective bargaining agreement? Is that kind of a messed up thing to do morally? Do you think it's right? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's the business of sports, right? Fortunately, it's what can you do for me now? What have you done for me now? Not even lately. And I mean, is it right? I don't know. You know me. I tend to be a little soft-hearted person sometimes, and I'm always going to side on the side of helping people out. But,
That's why I asked you. This is why I asked you. I was like, this is going to be perfect because we are going to be on two totally different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's personally what I feel, right? Is that I think you should, hey, the guys trying to do the best they can. They're trying to stay in shape, and but at the end of the day, the way I see it, I mean, it's just the business of sports. Not just football; it's the business of sports. And if you can't help me in the here and in the now, regardless of the situation, unless you are a legit superstar, stuff like this is just going to happen. I mean, it's just the way it is.
So,
what do you think?
I am with you, and the soft-heartedness side of me agrees with you. I think it is messed up. I think the players are held to a higher standard. I think what is it? They get 28 weeks or something out of the year that they're actually off. Mm-hmm. But eight of those weeks are voluntary, quote unquote. Yeah. So, I know there was a lot of talk, like when Tom Brady started missing the voluntary workouts and stuff, and the fans love the fans love to hate players and love to be able to blame them for anything like that. So, when Tom Brady started missing stuff, from their end, oh, well, now we're going to start losing. Anything happens, it's because Tom Brady wasn't a voluntary workouts. When on the other side, Tom Brady, the husband, Tom Brady, the dad, Giselle's over there like, listen, I need help. I need some help from you. I got a lot of stuff going on. You got to take some time away. And I get it. But when it comes to the injury standpoint, and this is where I think you and I differ a little bit, is let's take football out of the equation, okay? So let's say you're at work and you work with your hands, right? You have to like even you have to be able to use a computer. You got to be able to lift things up. So let's say you need your hands, right? Let's say you're out playing basketball, doing something, and you break your hand. Your hand's fully casted up. You can't do anything at work.
Yeah.
Do they need to keep you on for you doing something away from the office, getting injured that now impedes you from doing your work? And that's the way I look at it, is that, yes, the expectation is that you need to stay in football condition, but that's because you are a high-level athlete. So your body needs to be in tip-top shape. So your only job is to stay in shape. Now, if you get hurt doing that, that's not on them. And unless you have some kind of clause in your contract that says, if I get hurt in the off-season, you can't cut me, I think this is a legitimate run, and this is something that people need to be aware of. I mean, tearing your Achilles is no joke, and, can he recover from it? I mean, that's probably, I don't know how long it takes to recover from a torn Achilles. I guess it depends on how bad it is, but you're talking it could be a year, it could be 2 years, rehab, everything else. Can he come back into the league? 100%.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get paid because he's disabled, essentially. There's no point in keeping a roster slot on this guy unless he was a high-level, a top-tier player, I should say. If something like that happened to Aaron Rodgers or something, they're not going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers because he tore his rotator cuff. So I guess it depends on the value that you bring and how replaceable you are on the team.
Exactly. And again, it goes back to the business of sports. If you are a superstar, we're going to cut you a lot of slack, and we're gonna make it work, and we're going to paint it however we need to the fans that look at this guy, hard-working guy, even in the off-season, trying to go the extra mile, trying to go hard. And this is a byproduct of that, of just his competitive nature. You're a lower, tier player. Hey, man, you need to be more careful. I'm sorry, we'll have to see you later,
And it's regardless of what he was doing. Yeah, regardless of what he was doing. I mean, if he could have tore his Achilles, trying to get off of a roller coaster. We don't know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that's how it is.
Yeah, it comes down to your agent. Some of these agents get very creative in how they put stuff out there. It sounds like he needs to get an agent that's going to be a little bit more creative. So,
and I think this is going to turn into something. This is definitely going to turn into something, I think, league-wide, where there's going to be clauses. There's going to be something in the collective bargaining agreement eventually where if you're working out with a strength and conditioning coach or something that is with the team or has been assigned to you or whatever, and you get some kind of injury, then that's going to fall under the umbrella of the team.
Yep. So, hey, we'll see what happens there. But, now we're a couple minutes in. We got some folks joining us on the chat and getting in here. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to tonight's podcast. Ricky D here with my main man, Hater B, Timmy. We have some pretty good stuff here for you guys. Tim threw something out there. We'll have him kind of run that back a little bit on that big stat line.
Bill got it right, by the way.
He did, but still worth listening, hearing that again. So good up on you, Dollar Bill. Do us a favor, get on right now. You're on YouTube watching us, hearing us. Just go ahead and click that share button, and whatever social media that you have out there, go ahead and share it, and let's get some more people on here. Let's bring some people on. Let's get the chat rolling. Let's get the conversation rolling. That's what we're here for. We're here for you guys. Share it. All our social at Talk Sideline on Twitter. Sideline Sport Talk, obviously, on YouTube, which is where you guys are on right now, and even on Instagram, Sideline Sport Talk, and let's get the word out there. Let's start getting this thing rolling the way that we want. We have a new day. We're here Wednesdays, 8:30. You guys can catch us on here every week. Something crazy happens. We will do our best to be here every single Wednesday, trying to bring it. Have a new segment here for you guys tonight. Timmy brought it in last week. Where are they now? We're excited about that.
Oh,
We're going to start breaking down the top 10 picks in the 2000 NFL draft. Timmy has 5. I have 5. We just throw a little bit of something out there. And we'll see how that rolls. I'm sure it'll evolve as we move along and we keep, working with that. But just trying to bring some fresh new stuff for you guys. To keep it interesting, keep it fun, keep it light. You guys know how we like to do it around here. I appreciate all you guys that have been with us from the very beginning. I know we have C Killer who, like Timmy said earlier, had a nice long car ride, and he went through every single one of our episodes. So God bless you, bro. I appreciate the heck out of that. So again, share, hit that share button on there on YouTube. Share the link. Let people know we're live. Invite them on over. And give us some feedback. Let us know what you guys think, what you want to hear more of, what you want to see more of, and that's what we're here for. With that said, I want to ask you something, Timmy, about baseball, because we did see another no-hitter last night, and that one came from the Tigers, I believe. And I was listening on the way in to work this morning. They were talking about, should baseball be concerned about 5 no-hitters already to begin a season so early on? To me, right off the bat, I was like, man, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They want to see a lot of offense, and then it's like, well, it's too much offense. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, these pitchers can't get anybody out.
Yeah.
We got to do something about it.
6 home runs in one game.
Yeah, now we're pitching, and it's like, oh my God, these guys can't hit the ball anymore. What the hell's going on? Where do you stand on baseball and your preference? Do you prefer a more offensive game? Do you prefer a more defensive game? I mean, obviously, the best case scenario is to have a game where it's very balanced and you get a little bit of both. But where do you stand? What do you prefer as a baseball fan?
My preference, if I'm at a game, whatever team I'm rooting for, I hope scores about 25 to 30 runs in that game, obviously.
Right.
But baseball, again, and I know we go back to this so many times, baseball is still the purest game out there. This game does not evolve. It can't evolve. Okay, basketball.
Right.
You got the European steps now, where you can take 16 steps, and the ball. I'm still developing my footing and this and that. I get all the extra steps and the step back and the threes. And football, you've got a lot of you can't hit this guy the one way, you can't hit this guy, you can't lead with your head, blah blah blah. Baseball, nothing's changed. You still have to hit the ball and throw the ball and catch the ball. Okay, nothing has changed here other than the athletes. Okay, the talent. That you've got kids that are being developed from the age that they're born, learning how to play shortstop. Quick steps and this and that, and making sure how to read this and knowing what to do and rules and regulations and how to swing, stand this way if you want to go one way. And pitching is the same way. You have these freaks out there that have so much control with their pitches and placement and understanding on how everything goes. I love it. I don't think they need to worry about anything because nothing has changed other than the talent.
Right.
They're going out there and finding these guys that can do these things, and it's up to the coaches, and it's up to the players to figure out how to handle those pitchers and what you're going to do against them.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think obviously as time goes on, we are seeing just a whole different breed. Obviously we went through a steroid era where everybody was hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And then, that kind of went to the side, and now we're seeing some pitching. At the end of the day, I think if you are a true baseball fan, I think that you enjoy seeing some of these, these pitchers going out there and dueling it out. And seeing, I think it's pretty damn cool when you can watch a guy go out there and pitch 7-8 innings, which, by the way, doesn't happen very often anymore. You get 5 innings out of your starter, they call that a quality start, and the guy has been a success. So you get 7-8 innings out of a guy, and he goes out there and strikes out, 10, 11, 12 guys.
There's a level of respect there.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're and even for me, I've admitted that I watch Red Sox games, right? And that's about it. And then I tune in maybe to the playoffs. Every once in a million, I'll tune in to watch some big matchup, Sunday Night Baseball or something to that effect. But for the most part, I only watch Red Sox games, right? But when I see a guy go out there and, or I get the alert, no hitter alert, boom, I'm
Yep.
flipping the channels. I'm trying to find it. Let's see this. You know what I mean? I just think that I don't think baseball has anything to worry about. I think it just goes back and forth. You know what I mean? No need to jump on anything. No need to go and make a drastic change. People talk about baseballs. Oh, the bat just doesn't, or the ball doesn't jump off the bat like last year. Maybe the ball's different. Man, forget all that crap.
Right.
Just go out there, keep playing the game. If you can't score runs, I think that forces managers to manage more. If you're going to sit there and all you're going to do is watch guys is hit home runs left and right, you know what? It takes away from what a manager needs to do. It takes away from the strategy of the game. It takes away from your having to have that knowledge to get through a baseball game, move runners, you know what I mean? All that type of thing, the nuance of the game that's made it great over the years. I think that we are now maybe have lost a little of just because of the long ball. I think that it'll hopefully force some of these guys to go back in and start learning how to move guys around, learning how to create runs and create that chess match that a really good baseball game can become.
Well, and I think you have to look at on base percentage. And I was always brought up, you can't win if you don't get on base.
Right.
And I think that's where if you have a good on base percentage, your other statistics are gonna be up there. If you got a 647 on base percentage, you're probably going to have a good slugging percentage, a good batting average. You're going to have good runs, RBIs. So, that's where I think, we as fans need to be more focused on base percentage rather than batting average. And that's something I think that we don't look at enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what, I actually just found myself watching a little bit of Moneyball the other day. It was on again, and I was flipping through, and I caught myself just watching it over a little bit. I really did enjoy that one, and it's one of the ones I told you I watched recently for the first time. So, but it's one of the things that I enjoyed about watching the movie and learning a little bit more about even that process is the fact that that's what it was about, right? It was about, hey, we don't need to, get guys to do all we just need to buy runs. That's what we're doing. We're not buying players. We need to buy runs. So yeah, I heard it this morning and I was thinking, man, they have nothing to worry about. Leave it as it is. In 3-4 years, we'll be looking at it going, these pitchers can't get a guy out. These guys are hitting the ball out of the park again. What the hell does baseball need to be concerned about? The long ball going left and right. It's just a home run derby every game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to go back and forth. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the way that it's going to be. And, I enjoy it. I enjoy both sides of it. As a fan of the game, I do enjoy both sides of it. So, yeah, I just wanted to get your take on what you thought of that. 5 no-hitters early on in the season. That's pretty exciting to me.
I did see that Mike Trout got hurt. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks with a calf injury, so that could definitely alter the MVP race now too.
Yeah,
that's not a few games.
Sure.
That's 6 to 8 weeks is a lot of games.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the Angels. They tend not to make the playoffs, and they tend not to do anything anyway. So, what the hell? Who cares?
So, are you ready for this?
Well, I mean, if you want to jump right into it, we can. Most definitely can.
I'm ready. We're going to do...
Gotta get my notebook out, I had a notebook, and everything rolling. So,
notebook? What are you, living in the 18th century?
Hey, man, it's just the way it is. I'm sitting on my couch.
You're feathering your inkwell down there, scratching by candlelight.
Just going at it. So, yeah, buddy. So go ahead, give everybody a breakdown of what we're gonna try to do, what the vision is for this, and like I said earlier, I'm sure it's gonna evolve as we move along. But give us a little bit of a clip of what it is that we're going to be doing here.
So this is the first of many episodes. Hopefully, we're going to call "Where Are They Now?" Basically, where we break down the top 10 picks from a year in a particular sport. So tonight we're going to be doing the NFL, the year 2000 NFL draft, top picks 1 through 10. So I'll take the odd picks, you do the even picks, and we're basically going to go over, who was drafted, what team, obviously, kind of maybe a little quick synopsis of what they did in their career and what they're doing now, if we can, really find anything.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, it's kind of hard to run down, but so yeah, we're going to start it out with the Cleveland Browns. Surprise, the year 2000 had the number 1 pick. They took Courtney Brown from Penn State, defensive end. On paper, this guy was a freak. 6'4", 285, ran a 4.5 40. Basically, this guy was a consensus number 1 pick. Only played in the league for 7 years. Only played 61 games. Only played 1 full season, and it was his rookie season. 156 career tackles. Basically ended up with a lot of knee and ankle injuries. But after he retired, he kind of went off the grid. I mean, the guy has no social media life. Nobody really knows what he's doing now. So where he is now, nobody knows. So that's the number 1 pick right there. Not a very number 1 pick. Nothing exciting about him at all. So
yeah. I mean, we see that all too often, right? I mean, I actually think we talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago, how there's so many of these guys that kind of go off the grid, and you're like, man, I think we were talking about basketball is what it was, like Adam Morrison and guys like that all of a sudden it's like, what the hell happened to that guy? You know what I mean?
Where did he go?
What the hell? So, the second pick, if you want to move into that one, the second pick in the draft was LeVar Arrington. And LeVar Arrington went to the Washington football team. And LeVar Arrington, I mean, I just kind of did like a little template for myself here. And basically, obviously, a linebacker. Second pick went to the Washington football team. He's 42 years old right now, and he's actually right now. He had some good years. LeVar Arrington did some good things. Only played, I believe. Didn't write that down, but he had a so-so career. I mean, he had some bright spots. People knew who he was. He's working currently for Fox Sports 1. He's an analyst, so people can definitely see him on TV right now and get a little bit of LeVar Arrington if you want to. The interesting thing about him too is that and some of the guys that I went through, about 3 of these guys, I found the same thing. Went to coaching in the high school level, which I'm always a fan of. You know what I mean? Use your fame, use your experiences to teach and mold the younger minds. So good up on him. He's a head football coach at Maranatha. I don't know how to say that. High school in Pasadena, Texas.
Sounds good to me.
So he's been there since 2018. Apparently he's 13-9 through a couple of seasons. So not a great football coach, but and then
not in Texas at least.
Net worth. Yeah, because I thought this was interesting. Like for him, he's worth $45 million. You know what I mean? He's a guy that has done well for himself. As being an analyst right now for Fox Sports 1, that's definitely going to pay you some good points.
True.
So, still doing well for himself. LeVar Arrington, find him on Fox Sports 1 if you're interested. Doing his thing. Good up on him.
So with the third pick, and I had to double check this because I was looking over the even picks too, and I was like, Washington had the second pick and the third pick in this draft. They ended up giving up 2 first-rounders, a 4th and a 5th, to trade up into the 3 spot. After they took LeVar Arrington, they ended up taking Chris Samuels from Alabama, offensive tackle. 6'5", 314, wasn't nothing super fancy when it came to that. But this guy came out, was an immediate starter, made 6 Pro Bowls, and the only thing that really ruined his career was his injuries. He actually ended up getting partial upper body paralysis in 2009, and ended up having to retire the following year. So I mean, he did recover and everything, but this was I think he had spinal stenosis. This was something that was he had since he was a kid, and this finally was like, all right, I'm done. I want to be able to walk around. But he was the same way. He wanted to become a coach right after he retired. Tried to get into some coaching. Did some minor stuff with Alabama with Coach Saban. But he is actually the offensive coordinator now at Northwest High School in Germantown, Maryland. So again, another guy that ended up becoming a coach. So
All right. All right. I mean, and again, it's good on these guys that they want to go back and they want to do some coaching. Some of them get opportunities to be coaches in the league. Um, but some of these guys are going back to their hometowns. They're back there coaching their high schools. So I mean, that's a commendable thing to do. The fourth pick in that draft was a name that a lot of people recognize. Definitely, it's Peter Warwick. And
Yeah.
Peter Warwick was
The
back
reason
coming
that
out
I
of
quit
Florida State.
following college football. He's the reason I stopped watching college football.
Yeah?
Yep.
Why is that?
When he got popped for stealing all those clothes from that mall or something. You remember that?
Peter Warwick.
Yep.
I do vaguely remember that, and that funny, I didn't come across that, but I wanted to kind of find a little something about every guy, but there is one of these guys that's pretty hard to miss, and we'll get to him a little bit later on.
There's a couple.
Peter Warwick, now 43 years old, wide receiver coming out of FSU, played 6 seasons, drafted number 4 overall to the Cincinnati Bengals, and Peter Warwick is worth, as a 4th round pick, from what I found, worth $4 million. That was a little shocking to me because his name was pretty big coming out of
Very
college.
big.
So I figured he would go out there and get some endorsement deals, but he played 5 years with the Bengals, 1 year it looks like with Cincinnati, and goes out there and played 16 games, first 2 seasons 15-15. Then injury, played 4 seasons, 13 games, and in the last season with Seattle. I mean, overall numbers, it is what it is. I mean, he had 506 targets. It looks like he had 275 catches, 29.91 for the yardage, 18 total touchdowns. Peter Warwick, I think a lot of people had a lot higher expectation of him. Not a very, very long career, but now is, again, a wide receiver coach, Southeast High School here in Florida, Bradenton, Florida. So there he is. I mean, back in Florida, doing his thing, coaching. Hopefully, keeping his nose clean and doing his thing. Yeah, go Noles.
So the 5 pick. Now this is when we started actually getting into some talent here. Okay, Baltimore Ravens selected Jamal Lewis, running back out of Tennessee. Everybody knows this guy. He rookie year contributed to the Super Bowl championship. Obviously, notable stuff here. 2003 rushed for 2,066 yards, which was 3rd all time. Was the offensive player of the year. He set the single game rushing record that year as well with 295 yards, which was later broken in 2007 by Adrian Peterson. Got inducted into the Ravens Ring of Honor in 2012. Finished his career with 10,607 career yards, 62 total TDs. Post-life, and this one actually stuck out to me. He suffers, obviously, from post-traumatic effects for concussions, but he is the president of Southeast Exhibits, which is kind of the reason it stuck out to me is basically he works in the trade show industry, selling exhibits, which is the company I used to work for does the same thing. So he's the president of Southeast Exhibits, and probably had a rough year last year with COVID, but should be cranking back up. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that dude, he could put together some runs too, man.
Yeah, he was good.
He was good. Definitely, I remember watching him go, and it's like, man, I mean, trucking people around. So good on him. The 6th pick, we're ready to move on to the 6th pick.
Yeah.
Cory Simon. Is it Cory Simon? 6th pick to Philadelphia. He's a defensive tackle. His net worth, couldn't pin down a number. It said between $1 million to $6 million. So we'll call it somewhere around 3, I guess. And played 8 seasons. He's, interestingly enough, he's here local to us. He's in Florida, and he's been appointed he's the CEO of Volunteer Florida, which is an organization that does a lot to assist people that have gone through natural disasters and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
That. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool when I came across that. You see these guys get out there, put the pads on, put the helmet on, and get all rough and everything, especially a guy like this on a defensive line. But some of these guys, man, are smart dudes, go out there doing their thing. So here he is, lives right outside of Tallahassee, and it looks like he's trying to kind of weave his way into a potential, political career of sorts. So he's been appointed by our governor to be the CEO of Volunteer Florida, and looks like he's doing some good stuff. So good on him.
See, I think that contributes a lot to the NFL too, and how they don't allow players to come into the league too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think allowing them to go into college and at least try and get some kind of education past the high school level, and with a lot of these guys you see, it does turn into something like that. Whether that has anything to do with it or not, we obviously don't know. But on to the 7th pick, Arizona Cardinals. I got all the running backs. I think Thomas Jones, running back out of Virginia, another guy that had a very successful career, similar to Jamal Lewis. Has played 12 seasons. He actually ended up retiring in the top 25 leading rushers of all time until LaShawn McCoy passed him. Was nominated into the Hall of Fame. Was nominated for the Hall of Fame in 2020. Didn't actually get inducted, but he did set the New York Jets single-season touchdown record with 14 in 2009. Played in a Pro Bowl in 2008. Finished with 10,591 career yards, which was about 16 less yards than Jamal Lewis career-wise. Had 80 touchdowns. But the cool thing is now, once he retired, he got into film and television and started acting under the name of Thomas Q. Jones. So if you ever see Thomas Q. Jones as anybody on there, that is actually Thomas Jones, the running back. Okay. He owns a production company called Independently Major Entertainment Films, and he was actually made an appearance in Straight Outta Compton, if you guys ever saw that movie. Okay. So he was in that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. I mean, hey, again, a little surprised sometimes, right? When you start hearing about these guys and what they do. And I think playing in professional sports and maybe making some of the money that they make, even the guys that don't make as much as the superstars, it still allows them or affords them an opportunity to try to get into some of the things that they really wanted to, right? So for the guys that take advantage of it, I mean, that's pretty cool to hear a little bit about what these guys are doing. The 8th pick, here's a name that everybody knows. My man Plaxico Burress, and I don't say that because I really mean it. But Plaxico Burress, I'm sure the first thing everybody thinks about when they think about Plaxico Burress is not that he caught the game-winning touchdown pass against my New England Patriots and to beat them and push them off the undefeated season. But for the most part, most people think of Plaxico Burress and they think about a guy that shot himself in the leg.
Old Cheddar Bob.
At a nightclub, at a Latin Quarter, nightclub. My man, the article that I was reading is funny. It says, for a man that gets paid to catch things, he fumbled around trying to catch his gun, which is coming undone through his.
But he shouldn't have even had in the first place.
Right, and ends up shooting himself. Put him in jail for 2 years. But I guess I'll start it over with him. Plaxico Burress, 8th pick overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously a wide receiver, 43 years old right now. Net worth says $8 million. I feel like Plaxico Burress probably has more money than that. But I guess spending 2 years in jail, going through all the crap that he went through,
a lot of commissary.
Legally, I'm sure that he's had to pay plenty of money to just get 2 years. So currently, I really couldn't find anything great on like currently what he's doing.
Yeah.
There was one article that I found that said that he made as much as $30 million post football, but it never explained what the hell he was doing.
Right.
So I read it like 2 times and I'm like, where the hell does it outline on here what the hell he's doing? So Plaxico Burress is doing something out there, but apparently get this, he was the mentor to Antonio Brown.
Wow.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? Why Antonio Brown is probably a little,
why he's spending so much money on his attorneys.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. Plaxico Burress, 8th pick. Very talented guy. Lanky guy. I mean, man, he was good.
He was good.
And he just derailed his career with just being a bonehead.
He's working gun shows.
Probably.
Yeah. He teaches people how to get their concealed carry
Yeah,
licenses.
yeah. Don't do this. Here's a video of what not to do. So yeah, Plaxico Burress, man, the 8th pick overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then went on to play, like I said, with the New York Giants, and I think he finished his career off with the Jets. But his best moment on the field obviously came when he was a member of those Giants, and like I said, beat my New England Patriots in the Super Bowl to derail their 19-0 season. And they went on to win their first Super Bowl, and he caught the game winner. So I mean, at least he has that goal for him.
That's it, yeah. So number 9, I actually ended up getting the Offensive Rookie of the Year and the Defensive Rookie of the Year. But we got number 9, Chicago Bears took Brian Urlacher, coming out of New Mexico. You want to talk about just legendary players in the league. Played for 13 seasons with the Bears. Was Rookie of the Year, 8 Pro Bowls, 4 first-team All-Pros. Defensive Player of the Year in 2005. Got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2017 and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2018, which was his first year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Finished his career off with over 1,000 solo tackles, 41.5 sacks, 22 picks, and 15 fumble recoveries, which is pretty solid numbers there for any guy. But after he retired, he became an analyst for Fox, obviously, and recently got into some social media issues, tweeting, kind of criticizing the NBA players about the Jacob Blake shootings and stuff. So that was the last real big news that we've heard from Brian Urlacher was negative.
I think a real highlight of his career, it's definitely when he was juked by Tom Brady in the open field.
Well, Tom Brady's got a nasty head fake.
He's
got a nasty head fake.
That's really all he has for a fake. I mean, nothing else moved in that play, and Urlacher still went the wrong way. So, but hey, Urlacher, I mean, what a beast.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he played his whole career with the Bears. Wasn't one of those guys that at the very end of the career said, you know what, let me go ring chasing. Let me go try to, hey, Bears, let me go try to find a team that's, on the brink of winning it. So kudos to him for that. I always like guys that do that stay, loyal to the team that brought them on, that developed them, helped them get to where they are, where they became. And so good for him for that.
Yeah.
The last guy on the top 10, Travis Taylor. A name that, quite honestly, I just didn't remember. I saw Travis Taylor. I'm like, who the hell is Travis Taylor? So he was a wide receiver, and Travis Taylor. I barely even found anything, but he went to Baltimore with the 10th pick. Came out of UF, so UF definitely has some talented wide receivers along the years. And really, I mean, not a whole lot to him. I found the mugshot. What a guy.
You got all the criminals on the even numbers.
You got all the good stuff, like all the legit stuff on the field. I got all the crap.
You got all the off the field stuff.
Yeah, but he was drafted by the Ravens, played for the Vikings, the Raiders, the St. Louis Rams. Played 8 seasons, so I mean, in reality, he was found his way into the season into the league as far as sticking around. I mean, to me, an 8-season career in the NFL is pretty damn good as far as like sticking around.
Not bad.
But I mean, nothing to write home about. Like I said, I didn't find a whole lot of interesting stuff about him. Where is he now? I mean, truth be told, a part of my I'm going to be honest. I was running late today to get on here. Timmy was yelling at me, "Where the hell are you?" And
did it for you guys.
I was trying to finish up with this one, but I had other stuff that I was running around with my daughter too for some practice. So again, nothing stuck out with me with this guy. So Travis Lamont Taylor, 8 seasons, drafted by Baltimore. Again, Vikings, Raiders, and Rams, and now he's hanging out doing whatever he's doing. That's it.
And there it is. Where are they now? The year 2000, top 10 picks. Had some great ones, had some not so great ones. But I thought it's very informative. I feel like it allows our knowledge of the game to grow a little bit more. Um, and I think next week we'll do. You want to do NBA? You want to do another sport next week?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the chat can, if they want to chime in, tell you what, we'll give them an opportunity to throw in
Yeah.
there if they have a preference as to which one, NBA, NFL. It's tough to do Major League Baseball. I think I don't know if we can pull that off.
Because a lot of those guys don't
um,
even. They never end up even turning into
they don't
anything.
even, yeah, they don't even make it to the big club. Yeah, I mean, let us know, and then by the end of the show, we'll go ahead and pick something, and Timmy, you and I. We'll agree on one, and we'll go from there.
But let's go back to how we opened the show here. I want to wrap that up too, because again I asked a question if we could figure out who this guy was. Bill got it right. Only player in MLB history to have at least 3,000 hits, 100 triples, 600 doubles, 200 home runs, 1,000 RBIs, 1,500 runs, 1,000 walks, 500 stolen bases, and hit at least 300 for their career was Paul Molitor from the Milwaukee Brewers. This guy is a living legend. Game 1 of the World Series that he played in, had 5 hits, set a World Series record. Even in minor league, played 64 games with Burlington, hit 346, 8 home runs, 50 runs, 14 stolen bases. This guy is, again, he is a member of the all-time MLB team. That stat right there says it all. When you've been picked to be on the all-time team, and he's not like a pitcher. I mean, he played, I think he was a DH. I think he played second and third base. This guy was pretty impressive. I mean, very, very impressive. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, he definitely he stuffed the stat line.
Yes,
as they say. I mean, for sure. So did you say Hall of Famer or
he's in the Hall of Fame?
How old is Mr.
He is 64
Paul?
years old. He MLB debut was on April 7th, 1978. And his last game was September 27th, 1998. So it was about 20 years. I think he's a manager now for somebody. Let me see. Managerial record. Here we go. He's a manager with the Twins from 2015 to 2018. Not a very good manager.
Well, it happens sometimes when you're a really good baseball player,
yeah,
or a really good player in any sport. Typically, it doesn't translate well to the.
He's the opposite of Billy Bean. He's the opposite of Billy Bean. There you go.
Well, you know what, and I think we said this in the past too. It takes some of these bench warmer guys that are not that great as athletes to become really good coaches. So, I mean, it makes sense to me that's where we're at. So, I do want to provide a little bit of an update on, because the hockey playoffs have started. And I am a Bruins fan, and I know that Dollar Bill is a big Lightning fan. So I will just shout out a little bit of the hockey going on. I know maybe not all people are going to be too interested in it, so we won't go too crazy into it. But yeah, Bruins and add it up on my screen, and I just took it off.
2-2.
Right now, the Bruins and the Capitals are tied 2-2, and Hurricane Predators 1-0. Hurricane, man, some of these series are getting going. Game 3s are happening right now in some of these series. So this is when hockey gets a little bit fun. I watched a little bit of that Bruin game the other night, and let me tell you, they had the lead twice. Then they went down, scored late, sent it into overtime, and bam, game winner. And let me tell you, overtime in hockey is one of the coolest things because you score, the game's over, right? So the intensity level just ramps up that much more. It's high flying, it's fast paced, and I really enjoy that portion of it. So trying to get a little bit more into these playoffs. Teams are getting back in their own buildings. We're starting to see some fans out there. So that excitement for sports, I think, is starting to kind of creep back in. Because of the fans being in there. So we'll see what happens with this as we move along over the next couple of weeks. These playoffs, much like the NBA playoffs, feel like they're a whole full season in their own way.
Yeah.
After the regular season is over. So by the end of June, we'll probably be talking about like a Stanley Cup final starting. and hopefully my team is one of those teams in there. So what is so yeah, that was our hockey minute. 40 seconds worth
Penciling
of
it.
hockey. And then we also have basketball started their somewhat of the playoff with their playing games, which truth be told, I probably need to get a little bit more up to date on, because they have you have a playing game, but you lose, you're still not eliminated. You're gonna play the loser of the game on the other side. And
So the way it works is you got 7 through 10. 7 plays 8. Winner of that game is the 7 seed. The loser plays the winner of 9 and 10. If the winner of 9 and 10 beats the loser of 7 and 8, then they're in the 8 seed. So potentially a 7 or 8 seed can be knocked out of the playoffs by a 9 or a 10 seed. But not both.
So
the 9 and 10 cannot both get in.
Yeah, and get this, tonight's matchup, actually, if y'all want to stay up a little bit and watch some of it, is pins the Los Angeles Lakers against
Golden
the Warriors.
State. Yeah.
And Golden State with again, remember I said this a couple weeks ago, MVP should be Steph Curry.
Yep.
He closed out the scoring title this year, is his crown. And here he is. If he can find a way to get that team into the legitimate playoffs and get into a series and maybe make some noise, I know that it's not a playoff award, and they say they don't take that into account, but man, you got to look at Steph Curry and say this is probably one of his best years as a pro, taking a team that probably has no business making any noise, and he's got them over there performing. They lost their rookie center. They don't have the second of the Splash Brothers, and Klay Thompson didn't play all season. A team that's been up and down, and he's been the constant there, putting up major points. I think he went 10 straight games this year with 30-plus points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, hey, Steph Curry, do your thing, brother, and get out there and beat LeBron, because Lord knows I'm not the biggest LeBron fan on the court.
Yeah, me neither. The stat sheet on this, you've got arguably the two best players in the league going up against each other with LeBron and Steph Curry. From a statistical standpoint, Steph Curry averaging 32, 5 and 5, LeBron with 25, 7 and 7. So this is going to be interesting. Still got Draymond Green in there, who is an elite level playoff guy that is always kind of there to contribute, do his thing. This is going to be a big game tonight, because the winner is in, and the loser potentially is going to be will be going up against either San Antonio or Memphis. The winner of that game. Right now, Memphis is up by 5. So
yeah, it's hey, we'll see. I'm going to try my best to get a little bit more into these NBA playoffs. This season with the NBA, to me, had some promise starting off. Obviously, we're Magic fans, and they started off, pretty good, and then the injury bug really caught them. I feel like every single guy in that team was either injured, or the guys that weren't injured ended up getting traded.
yeah,
And it just became so bad. And then just overall, for me, I don't know, the NBA just this year, I just couldn't get into it. I really could not get into it.
that's me every year.
So, yeah, and I know we talked about it early on that you were gonna make an effort to get in there and watch a little bit more, and then when the wheels came off the Magic train, it's like,
That was it.
never mind.
Yeah.
So, so we'll see what next year brings for our Magic. They have some lottery picks coming up for them this year, so hopefully they can do some good with that, and they get a little bit of luck on their side, and maybe even end up with the first pick. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, all right, Timmy, what else you got?
Well, we still got some NFL stuff going on. Obviously, Deshaun Watson made his first public showing since the whole sexual misconduct stuff. The league still has not made a decision on disciplinary actions for him. I saw that Antonio Brown still has not passed his physical to sign with the Bucks.
Yep,
So
still
that's
not
another
officially signed, right? He had a surgical procedure here this past week, from what I saw and read, and according to his agent, everything went just fine. Of course, that's agent speak.
Yeah.
And I guess the expectation is still that he's going to go ahead and sign with them, but we'll see what happens. There was a little bit of buzz too about Julian Edelman some people were trying to start it up that Julian Edelman was going to end up in Tampa, and he's just steadfast on no, I'm retired. I have a TV deal, and I'll be with that. That's my new team,
Yeah.
and I'm putting all my effort into that. But we've seen other players get TV deals, and then all of a sudden, get an offer from a team, and here they go and back onto the field. So, I do believe that he's staying. He'll be retired. I just think that his knee injuries are not going to allow him to play
And
at
concussions.
any kind of level. Yeah,
Yeah.
and concussions. I mean, that guy went hard and went hard every game. So
Yeah.
I hope that he stays retired.
Speaking of Patriots, by the way, I saw that your boys re-signed the legend Brian Hoyer, and the battle for the QB3 has now begun in New England.
Yeah. Well, QB3 now they have potentially 4 wide receiver QBs over there. Yep. So here's the thing about that, Tim. And I'm glad you brought that up. I would not be surprised to see the Patriots cut Cam Newton. And the reason I say that is, think about, I had somebody text me and say, man, Jarrett Stidham must be really bad if they're bringing in Hoyer again. And at first, my initial thought was, yeah, you're right. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute.
Cam Newton's bad.
maybe. Well, think about this. There's 4 guys in that room now, potentially. Right. Which one has a different skill set from the other ones?
Cam Newton.
Right? So if you have 3 guys that are like-minded and similar in their style of play, would you cater your offense to a whole different style and have 3 guys vying for a backup spot with a completely different style of play?
Well, and my question to anybody that's a New England fan is, what do you have to gain by keeping Cam Newton? Because it's not like you want your rookie star being taken. You don't want Cam Newton taking him under his wing. Like, I don't understand that. And I think you make a valid point. I think Brian Hoyer is, I wouldn't call him a journeyman quarterback yet, but he's been a starter. He's been fairly successful. He's had some injuries, so he knows how to, battle back from that. I think he's going to bring a good leadership role there, and I think with Jarrett Stidham, again, I think the like-mindedness of style of play and understanding in the regiment, I think the 3 of them will mesh really well. And Cam Newton is the outsider here. For lack of a better term, he's the black sheep. And that is not regarding his race in any way. It just worked out like that. But he is the dark horse, if you will. It still doesn't work. I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
Holy cow.
You know what I mean.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean.
I do understand what you're saying, and I agree with that. And again, the more I thought about it, the more it made sense to me. I would not be surprised to see him get cut, especially if Mac Jones goes out there and demonstrates any type of real talent and a potential to become a starting quarterback sooner rather than later. I think that you may see that move happen. Hey, we're going to go with Stidham or we'll go with Hoyer. We'll get the season started with them, and then we'll roll in this kid, or even maybe just start him right off the rip. So, bringing in a guy like Hoyer, who's been there with Brady in the past, knows their system. I think that him coming in is to just mentor this kid, and I mean, again, why would you keep Cam Newton around if if you have these 3 guys that are not exactly the same, but very similar playing style? I mean, I just think that it makes sense to me that you're probably going to see Cam Newton out the door.
Yeah, and I think speaking of quarterbacks and just sticking with that, moving down into Houston, I did see they signed Jeff Driscoll, another Oviedo great, coming out of Haggerty High School. Played against Blake Bortles. They were rivals against each other senior year. Signed with Houston on a 1-year deal, $1 million base salary, $500,000 guaranteed, $250,000 signing bonus. This kind of has to raise a question: are the Texans preparing to not have Deshaun Watson this year?
If they're not preparing him, I think they're just flat out idiots, because I don't think there's any way that right now that Deshaun Watson plays for the Texans this year.
Yeah.
Again, I said it, I think it was last week. I mentioned it to you, and I thought, was Deshaun Watson trying to get out of Houston? And remember, we had all that noise prior to all this stuff starting to come out. Was Deshaun Watson starting to create this noise to get out of Houston because he knew what was coming, right? He knew that this train was gaining steam and eventually was going to be, right on top of him.
Right.
And I just don't think that Houston can be naive enough to think that they're going to have this guy as a quarterback.
Well, they have 5
think-
quarterbacks right now. They have Davis Mills, they have Deshaun Watson, they have Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Finley, and now they have Jeff Driscoll. So, I mean, they're going to be. Who knows? I mean, of those guys, I would probably say Tyrod Taylor would be the starter, but none of those names are saying anything to me that is worth anything. I mean, at this point, if Deshaun Watson's out for a year, there's got to be you got to start looking for the future. Like not even that, he's going to be back in a year. Like, we got to get this negative attention away from us because, God forbid, this guy's found guilty in any way possible. Now you've got a guy that has been committed, he's been found guilty of sexual misconduct with women in the world that we live in, and you're going to have him as a starter? Come on, man. No.
And not only that, you're starting quarterback, which is the most important position in sports, and the face of your franchise. Not a good look. If I'm them, like you're saying, cut the cord, get him out the door, start fresh, and start creating a new identity for your team, because there has been a lot of negative publicity coming out of Houston with the way that they have treated people. And again, you start piecing stuff together. They did fire a female. She was a higher exec. I don't remember exactly her position or her name, unfortunately, but she was a person that was very well respected around the NFL. And I remember when she was fired or let go, there was a lot of concern. A lot of people saying, why is this happening?
Right.
Why is she being let go? And maybe, who knows? I mean, this is just me throwing ideas out there. Maybe she's hearing stuff going, you know what? You guys are putting up, maybe the Texans were hearing stuff about Deshaun Watson at this time, and she was thinking, hey, you guys are putting up with this crap. I don't want to be anywhere near this. You know what I mean? And she started raising noise about that, and they decided to let her go. But at the end of the day, they need to clean house, and they need to start cleaning up their image, because there was a lot of negative publicity, whether it be letting go of a higher up, a female higher up at that, J.J. Watt wanting out, the Deshaun Watson stuff now. I mean, you've had a lot of negative
DeAndre Hopkins situation.
Him being so public about how bad it was. You had Andre Johnson, who played there for years, coming out and being, again, very vocal about how poor they were being treated there as players and how bad things were, even with the ownership group. So if I'm them, I'm starting to look at, we really need to start finding ways to clean this thing up and to start looking into the future so that we can start getting guys to want to come to our club.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the good news is, moving from Houston to Jacksonville, somehow we always managed Houston and Jacksonville always in the same kind of segue there, but there is some hype, some high-level energy hype coming out of Jacksonville right now. With the OTAs going on, Shaquille Griffin and Laviska Shenault, I think he's their rookie, isn't he? He's the new one.
Laviska Shenault?
From what I have heard, there is a vibe going on in Jacksonville from the defensive and offensive line.
Shenault was a wide receiver last year. He played with them.
He was? Okay, that's where it was.
Yeah, and he had a pretty good, he had a kind of an up and down year, but he made some noise here and there.
Yeah, it's the I guess you would call them veterans now, even though second year player, I guess. But yeah, there's
on that team, they're veterans.
Yeah, there's a buzz coming around in Jacksonville, man, and I'm excited to watch some Jacksonville football this year, with everything that's going on, and haven't heard anything about their tight end situation, but fingers crossed, man, fingers crossed.
I tell you what, I think there's real potential for that thing to be just a major, cluster bleep out there with Urban Meyer.
There's a possibility.
You know what I mean? Because some of the things that I've heard coming out of there, even already starting off, people are kind of scratching their head going, what in the hell is this guy doing? First, he goes off and he signs on the strength and conditioning coach, was it? From where was he from? The one that had all the issues and
Oh
didn't
yeah,
even make it
yeah,
into the building, I believe, before he had to
yeah,
let him go. That was the first questionable thing. Then
yeah,
the whole Tim Tebow thing. Where he's gonna bring him in to be a tight end, which officially he has yet to sign. So that hasn't completely happened yet. And then you hear that he has Travis Etienne, very talented running back, playing wide receiver here the last week and to start the OTAs and rookie camp. And people are again scratching their head, going, "The hell is this guy doing?"
yeah.
I mean, he's either gonna look, like a genius when ETN is out there, catching balls, looking like Alvin Kamara, or he's gonna look like a complete moron and out of touch. So, yeah, we'll see. I think there's real potential for this thing to just be, a train wreck.
Yeah.
And for people to just question left and right what the hell's happening. But there's also some potential with some of the guys that they picked up for it to become something really good. So I guess we'll have to stand by and see. I wouldn't be surprised if Hard Knocks makes a presence over there for the preseason and the off season.
I did see a video somewhere of Derrick Henry squatting like an insane amount of weight. It was like something like 300 pounds or over 300 pounds or something. I mean, it was like, the bar was bending on his back.
Yeah.
So there's another guy we might want to keep an eye on, Derrick Henry, who's got like tree trunk legs, ready to run over some people this year. But yeah, football's getting ready to be up and running, man. It's going to be awesome. So I'm pretty pumped about that. NBA's playoffs, we talked about that. Baseball's going. Did we finish? Did we see who won the hockey game? The Bruins? Did they win? They're in overtime.
They're still playing. They're still on there.
So that's going to probably go to a shootout.
Are they still in overtime right now?
Yes, 14 seconds left. So they're doing their thing, but yeah, I mean,
exciting
other than that,
games,
man, I think we have
series is tied 1-1 and going to overtime.
Yeah.
So that's exciting stuff right there. I guess we'll have to see what's up with that. So.
Oh, I did see fantasy football is open. It is open, guys. So we will be renewing our league, obviously. We're going to be getting that going. We'll be getting the email sent out to everybody. Very excited about that.
What year are we in, Tim? What year are we in our fantasy league?
I want to say 11 or 12 we're going in. So
man, it seems like more than that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But we're what is he talking about? 2 players at a fire, sitting around with 2 players at a fire, 2 athletes. Okay, I see what he's saying. I was like, what does that mean? But yeah, so fantasy football is open. Sitting around a campfire with 2 athletes. That's I think we're gonna come back to that one because I need to put some thought into that. I think we're gonna bring that up maybe next week. We're gonna do. Did we decide what we're gonna do for next week? Are we doing basketball for the Where Are They Now? Or are we gonna do?
Tell you what, I mean, just to change it up, let's go ahead. In the spirit of the NBA playoffs, let's go ahead and do basketball.
Okay.
Let's jump in there. 2001 top 10 draft picks.
So we're gonna skip a year too. So we'll do 2000 and then 2001 basketball. 2002 we'll do NFL, whatever. Okay, I like it.
We can do that. And that way we keep moving our way.
So they don't
towards the beginning of the year. So
I thought they did shootouts in the playoffs for hockey.
That's right.
They just keep doing overtime.
What?
Yeah,
I remember,
that's lame.
One year, lame. Let me tell you, there was one year, and Bill can probably tell us exactly when this was, where there was a game that went. I think it was Pittsburgh that was playing, and they went to like 5 overtimes.
See, I think after the first overtime, you should have to start taking players off the ice.
Well, they do in overtime. They I think they play goalie and then 3-on-3.
Really?
I believe. Yeah.
Where have I been for this? How did I not know this?
Like I don't know if it's 3-on-3, but I know that they reduced the number of players on the ice, so it kind of opens it up a little bit, and it just becomes like a freaking track meet.
They should have to take the goalies out.
Well, then
They should have to rotate. You can only stay. Like, you can cover goal for like 20 seconds, then you got to move out, and somebody else got to come in.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I mean, it's a good fun. But again, guys, really appreciate you guys coming on with us. Again, Wednesdays are a new day. Make sure you guys are sharing this. Get out there every once in a while. Go ahead and hit that share button, like we said on there. Throw that out there on the social media. We're really gonna start amping it up. And really try to bring some new stuff on here. Hopefully, you guys like the "Where Are They Now" segment. We'll keep growing that. Keep doing some new stuff with that. We'll have to try to bring back Sideliner's opinion and see if we can throw some new stuff on there. And as always, we're looking for new stuff. At Talk Sideline on Twitter, Sideline Sport Talk on Instagram. Obviously, we're on here on YouTube. So keep sharing, keep telling people about us, and hopefully we keep this thing growing.
Definitely, we're gonna keep doing our thing, guys. Keep doing the homework. Keep hitting you guys up on social media and the phone calls. Man, we love getting them, and keeps us going. So yeah, we'll be back next week, Wednesday. Nothing crazy going on right now. We got some plans. Hopefully for the summer, we're gonna figure some stuff out. But other than that, man, you guys have a great week. Happy Hump Day, and we'll see you guys on the sideline.